Welcome! Happy Friday to you guys. Hope everything's going well. Hope everything's pleasant for you. I just thought I'd come on here. Do like some quick thoughts, predictions for the first pay-per-view. It's coming up this Saturday for NWA. For NWA since their relaunch. It's called Into the Fire. They've announced the card, and I just thought I'd go over it there. Big fan of NWA. Very big fan of NWA. If I gotta look at the two newest promotions out there, not including like MLW and other feds, but mainly just NWA and AEW, I'd go with NWA as being my favorite. To me, NWA has been hitting on, for the most part, it's been hitting on all cylinders with me in NWA. Of course, it has its flaws, some mistakes, but, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. It's a common consensus that we could all agree on. When I'm looking at NWA Power, I think the main the main point of interest for me, the main thing that will be interested in, looking forward how that will unravel, is Tim Storm as one of the guest referees for Nick Aldis. This is Aldis versus James Storm matchup. 2 out of 3, with each opponent picking whoever they would like as far as a referee goes. And you have Camille, who's kind of still plays a part in this somehow. Still that question mark in regards to Camille. What is her involvement in this match? Some might say she caused James Storm a matchup 1 week, then the following week she comes out and she's whispering something in James Storm's ear. So it's, what is the story with Camille? James Storm, I'm just completely sidetracked by this tractor trailer just driving right in front of me. Like, all right, where am I going to go now? But, and I lost completely my train of thought. James Storm, why is James Storm getting a pay-per-view shot? Why is he getting a title match? He just lost his NWA championship, right? He just lost it, to Colt Cabana. He just lost the title to Colt Cabana. And then that eventually was explained by all this, pretty much where James Storm was being a crybaby. Now, do I agree with that explanation? No, but in the very least, it is a form of you get some type of explanation, reasoning as to why it happened, right? So you get that at least. So when I look at James Storm, who now with his mouth, whether you agree or disagree, has found his way into the title picture in James Storm. Nick Aldis, who has carried himself as a great champion in all this. he just kind of embodies NWA the way he carries himself. I still don't know, by the way, what to think of all this. Is he a face? Is he a heel? That's, I guess, to be determined. So you have, and you also have Tim Storm. Tim Storm. In this whole circle, he's being one of the referees. He lost. He has a history with Nick Aldis. He lost to Nick Aldis. He lost his title to Nick Aldis. What is his role in this match? Will he turn? Will he join Nick Aldis and help him be champion, help him cheat, help him continue his reign? That way, maybe one day, as a favor, Tim Storm will get a rematch for his heavyweight championship. Could that be a possibility? There are many ways to go with this, and it's like, and in a good way, like I can't decipher of who's face and who's heel between these two. So if I'm giving a prediction for this matchup in Aldis versus James Storm, on the main event, your first pay-per-view since your relaunch. Remember, this is a 20-year plan, supposedly. So, these are the foundations. These are the stepping stones. This will outline your organization for years to come. So this pay-per-view is gonna say a lot. And I think there's going to be a lot of drama in this match. I don't think there will be any. I don't think there will be any fuckery during this match. What I think will happen, because remember, we never really even heard, at least I don't think we have, Tim Storm's side of the story as to why he is a referee and not wrestling on this pay-per-view. A former NWA champion being left off this pay-per-view. I think it's going to come down to Aldis winning in two out of three. It's going to go the distance, and at the end, Tim Storm congratulates Aldis, and as James Storm is laying on the mat there, being exhausted, being spent, Aldis and Tim Storm attack James Storm. I see Aldis winning this match. Rock and Roll Express versus the Wild Cards. I get it to a point as to why you would have the Rock and Roll Express win the week before, 2 weeks before an NWA Power. I get it. It's kind of a nostalgic, story, feel-good story. Hey, look, tune in, buy the pay-per-view. Rock and Roll Express are your tag champions. So I get that. that sense. It's marketable to your target, your demographic. But how they got again, one of my biggest gripes, my biggest concerns, why would they get a tag team match, tag team shot, and not a team that's been in it week in and week out, like Kingston and Homicide, or a Dawson's. By the way, last we seen of the Dawsons, they were reading Shakespeare. Not good, not good. So I think, Rock and Roll Express winning the title was short term. The nostalgia is going to wear away, and it ends at the pay-per-view. Wild cards will win it over Rock and Roll Express. The question mark versus Trevor Murdoch. Really, not much of a build per se between this match. Now I think they developed the characters pretty well in these past weeks. And Trevor Murdoch, we have the sense, at least for me anyway, that his character is just a gritty old veteran who's trying his damnedest every week to win. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he doesn't, but he's going out there sacrificing everything humanly possible. His gas tank is on empty after the match. The old guy, the old vet, trying to make one last run in the NWA. Fighting for his idols, Harley Race, Stick Murdoch, these type of guys, and he's trying to earn himself that contract. So that he comes in there, no glitz, no glamour, just a damn wrestler. Versus a guy in the question mark. Now, who is he? Some might argue Josephus. It's tough to say. But he's, everyone's on the question marks train. Everyone's on the question marks train. Now, how does this go? Really tough to say. If you toss a coin here. I go with the question mark. I think he will definitely I think actually, if I'm looking at a pay-per-view for an element of surprise, okay, let me backtrack here. Rewind. I think it's going to be Trevor Murdoch pulls out the victory. Someone comes out, or we're informed that Trevor Murdoch, after beating a guy that's on fire as far as victories, Trevor Murdoch, after defeating him, the question mark, gets a contract. And then we see question mark getting upset by this. He attacks Trevor Murdoch, takes off the mask. It's Josephus, and Josephus is like, why does this guy get a contract? A has-been, a no one, a nobody. He's been retired for so many years. I'm suspended. I want to be reinstated. And there you see how that unfolds. So I can see it unfolding that way. Next, you have Ashlyn Kay and Ashley Vox versus two members of Melina's team. Melina, making her reappearance after being away for quite some time. I think they want to keep it a element of surprise. I think it will be Melina and Thunder Rosa. Going after these two. Well, I think this is gearing up towards Melina challenging for the title. That being said, I see Melina pinning Allison Kay to kind of get the wheels in motion going into season 2. Start things turning as to Melina justifying herself as to why she deserves a title. Eli Drake versus Ken Anderson. When I look at Eli Drake, he has, I think, definitely turned it up since being a part of the NWA. Ken Anderson, he's clearly a face here in this organization. He's playing a face, I think. Do I like him as face, Ken Anderson? Is what we'll say about that. Really, not so much. I think he's best as a heel in Ken Anderson. But when I look at Drake, he's definitely good on the mic. I think maybe he tried. Listen, is he trying to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, which a lot of people are saying, oh, stop trying to, or The Rock. I'm sure those are his influences. Those are people that he has studied. So maybe that's when you study someone, two pioneers as far as on the stick, and The Rock, Austin, these type of guys. He maybe sound like them a little bit, but I don't get why people say that he's a Stone Cold Rock ripoff wannabe. I don't see it. I don't agree with that. And Eli Drake just comes off as arrogant, but he can back it up in the ring. So Eli Drake, Ken Anderson, I think this one goes to Eli Drake. Eli Drake pinning Ken Anderson. We're going to go with him pinning Ken Anderson. Him pinning Ken Anderson with some type of fuckery happening. Because, Eli Drake, arrogant dick, and, that's what he's going to do. Get an edge. So I think it's going to be Eli Drake. Last match here, Aaron Stevens, Ricky Starks versus Colt Cabana. This is a new side of Colt Cabana in the NWA, more of a serious character. I like it. He's challenging people, taking on challengers. Aaron Stevens, great on the mic as usual. I don't know why he got let go by WWE. I don't see it. I don't understand it. The guy's a talent. And Ricky Starks, talented as well. Aaron Stevens kind of weaseled his way into a title shot. He has all but one victory, and it was by fuckery. if memory serves me correctly, I think he has 1 win or 2 wins at most with his ridiculous ring gear, which looks like it's see-through. Just This guy is something to watch, in Aaron Stevens. Now, who wins this title? Just to go along with this whole, I'm a Shakespeare's relative, I'm a movie star. I see it being Aaron Stevens with fuckery. He's going to play off this elitist type of thing that he's better than everyone, which he has been kind of playing. And what better way to prove it that he's better than everyone with having a gold around your waist? So for this matchup, we're going to go with Aaron Stevens. And that's it. I think I covered the whole pay-per-view card. I look forward to NWA, man. I think I'm very proud of the presentation. This is it's going to be very key, the pay-per-view, because a lot of people, a lot of wrestling fans say, yeah, I love NWA, so on and so forth. It's the best, it's the greatest. Well, it's time to support it, buying merch, and for right now, buying the pay-per-view. So I hope all is well. Enjoy Into the Fire.